Welcome to the fascinating realm of Bertrand T. Raven, a distinguished gentleman who's embarking on a thrilling literary journey post-retirement. With the charm of old-world France and the intensity of a série noire crime thriller, Bertrand's in-progress novel Gaultier's Gambit comes to life here. Follow along as he weaves an intricate tale of deception, intrigue, and betrayal set in medieval times. Delve into the crafting of his spellbinding saga and be part of a narrative where history and imagination collide. So let the story begin. Gaultier's Gambit, A Tale of Dark Deceit by Bertrand T. Raven. Prologue. The air in the darkened chamber was heavy with anticipation, as the man who danced with shadows all his life stood in the dim candlelight. The flickering flames cast eerie patterns on the walls, mirroring the twisted game he was about to set in motion. His heart brimmed with wicked delight as he imagined the look on his rival's face when the trap would spring shut, snaring the unsuspecting idiot in its merciless jaws. His sinister thoughts twisted around the room like the tendrils of smoke from the guttering candles. Oh, how he'd waited for this moment, the chance to exact his revenge on the man who had cost him so dearly. The son of a bitch had foiled his plans once, but the bitter taste of defeat would soon be washed away by the sweet wine of vengeance. His cruel laughter echoed through the chamber, as if he were sharing his malicious glee with the very shadows that enveloped him. His revenge would be complete, his honor restored, and his enemies brought to their knees. The two figures he'd just met, powerful and ruthless, had offered him the perfect opportunity to settle the score, and he had grabbed it with both hands, like a drowning man clutching at a lifeline. His former misdeeds had forced him to forge alliances with such people, but he knew that in this world, power and loyalty were as fickle as the shifting wind. And now, as he plotted his dear enemy's downfall, he reveled in the knowledge that even the noblest of heroes had their blind spots, their vulnerabilities, hidden weaknesses he could exploit to his advantage. The shadows in the room seemed to whisper conspiratorially, urging him to savor the delicious irony. The glorious hero, the great but humble soul, the righteous servant of truth and honor, would soon find himself entangled in a web of deceit and treachery, accused of a crime he did not commit. The smug satisfaction of seeing his nemesis brought low would be a prize beyond measure. With a smirk that would have chilled the blood of even the most hardened criminal, he imagined the moment when the oh-so-clever champion would realize he'd been outmaneuvered, outsmarted by the man he'd so carelessly dismissed as a mere pawn in the games of the high and mighty. Yes, it was time to show him that even a pawn could turn the tables on a king. As his twisted soliloquy continued, his mind spun a dark tapestry of intrigue, painting a vivid picture of the chaos and confusion that would soon engulf the church and the royal court. The threads of his plan intertwined with the ambitions and desires of his powerful allies, weaving a net that would ensnare the brave heart and all his loyal friends, whose loyalty to their companion would prove to be their undoing. The silence of the chamber was broken by the soft rustle of parchment as he carefully laid out the letters and documents that would implicate his enemy in the foul murder of the bishop's secretary. The thought of that unsuspecting fool, whose wavering loyalties had sealed his own fate, only served to deepen his satisfaction. The stage was set, the pieces in place, and all that remained was for the curtain to rise on the grand spectacle of his destruction. As the last of the candles sputtered and died, leaving the chamber shrouded in darkness, he felt the weight of his vengeance pressing down upon him, a burden he bore with perverse pleasure. Soon, he would be the unseen hand that pulled the strings, the shadowy puppet master who would orchestrate the downfall of a man he despised. And as the final act of his revenge played out, he would savor every last morsel of despair and humiliation that would be served up to his rival on a silver platter. He could already see it unfolding in his mind's eye. The White Knight, once the pride of prestigious society, now a disgraced and broken man, his reputation in tatters. This great example of sincerity and honesty would be forced to confront the bitter truth that, in this world of corruption and deceit, even the most virtuous of men could be betrayed by those they trusted most. His laughter filled the chamber once more, a cruel and mocking sound that seemed to ricochet off the walls, echoing the twists and turns of the labyrinthine plot he had devised. It was a game he was confident he would win, and he reveled in the thought of the chaos his machinations would unleash. A storm of suspicion and betrayal that would sweep through the church and the royal court like a vengeful wind. As he prepared to leave the chamber, he cast one last lingering look around the room as if to seal the dark pact he had made with the shadows. The die was cast, and there could be no turning back now. He had set in motion a chain of events that would change the course of history and bring the mighty to their knees. But as he stepped out into the night, a cold and bitter wind seemed to rise up from the depths of the city, a chilling reminder that, in the world of shadows and secrets, no one was ever truly safe. And as the darkness swallowed him whole, he couldn't help but wonder if, in his quest for vengeance, he too might find himself caught in the snare he had so carefully laid for his enemy. For now, however, those doubts were silenced by the sweet, intoxicating promise of revenge, a siren song that lured him ever deeper into the treacherous waters of intrigue and deception. He had chosen his path, and he would walk it with grim determination, driven by the unquenchable thirst for retribution that burned like a fire in his soul. And so, with a heart as black as the night that enveloped him, he vanished into the shadows, leaving only the memory of his sinister laughter to echo through the dark and empty chamber, a harbinger of the storm that was to come. You want to know how the story develops? Subscribe now.